Way! Hello, viewer. Hello, everybody. Today it is a Sunday, November the 26th, 2023. I am Mr. Brune, and I trust you are all doing very well today. On this evening's live stream, we are discussing the goings on this week in the entertainment and on the social media. It was a week where some things happened in Hollywood, and you guessed it, folks, even more bad stuff happened in real life. Oh dear. So, as I always say, if you've not shut down for the evening, as I always say, then, lots to get through. Shall we get the guests out? You know it. Let's do it. First up, from a VPN far, far away, it's the golden reach around droid of choice, Z3PO.
Good evening, Mr. Brown. A pleasure to be back with you once more.
Hail, my beautiful looking avatar friend.
Oh, how are you today, sir?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Sad news today. Are you okay, my friend?
Yes, what was the sad news?
El Tel.
Oh,
Terry Venables.
I'm not a football fan. We don't do that on Tatooine, sir.
I will say that's for the Brits, the English peeps. So, what sports do they do on Tatooine other than bumming?
We do Jawa volleyball and Tusken
Yes.
Raider hunting.
Well, that sounds very good.
Oh, yes. Sometimes
How
you can beg 2 or 3 of the buggers.
could you play both at the same time? Join both games together. So, volley, Jawa, hunting, Tusken Raiders.
Oh, I could just throw Jawas at them and hope they knock them unconscious.
It's good to have you on, my friend. Shall we get the next person out?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, making his return, we see the good inside our next guest. He is the Dark Sith Lord Chord. Little platoon.
Evening all.
Evening all.
Hello
Hello,
there.
Lord.
Hello, how is everyone?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I've got irritated vocal cords, which is either trace elements of flu or the fact that I've been recording the Marvel script and I can't work out which it is, but it's one of those two.
How many words do we know?
No, I don't know. A lot. It's probably going to be like a 5-hour thing, I think.
Was it a novel?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Man, I don't know how you do it. You are a machine, aren't you?
I have been called worse, but I'll take that, yes.
Great to have you on, my friend. We'll just get on with it, yes.
Yes, do it.
Yes. Okay, next. Set your Jedi power phasers to stunning and brave. Can't get rid of him, folks. Not Brian.
Hey, nice to be welcomed. Good evening, Brune. Evening, chat.
Hello,
Good
my friend.
evening, fellow guests. How are we all?
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Had to endure Doctor Who for your sake, but other than that,
Nice.
I'm okay.
Yep. 4-hour stream yesterday, friend. How's those Red Bulls?
Oh, how's the hangover? More to the point.
Oh, God.
It's rather grim for several hours today. But,
yes, 4-hour stream, everybody. A very rare occasion, wasn't it, Brian?
It was a very expensive stream for me, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Naughty, shouldn't have said it. Great to have you on, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Okay, should we get the last person out? And last, but by no means least, all the way from the land of Texas Shire, she is the queen of this channel. You know who it is. Rainy L.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello there, or good evening, I should say.
Hello, Rainy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Cold. It's very cold in Blighty.
It's pretty cold here, well, for Texas weather, so I'll take it. I actually had to wear a sweater and thick socks this weekend, so it's pretty
What?
insane. I know. It usually doesn't cool down until we get a good freeze. So it's been pretty nice. I love the cold though. So yeah, enjoying it.
Oh, good for you.
Don't hate me because
Uh,
you hate me.
Okay. Great to have you on, Rennie. Should we just get on with it? Yeah. We'll just say
Yeah,
hello, chat. We can see
do it.
you. Hello, chat. We can see you. My computer is not happy today. Bear with me, folks. Du-du-du-du. Episode 180. End of week musings, Sunday, November 26, 2023. Please like, share, subscribe. Lord, do you like the new updated graphics?
The text is bigger. I can read that.
Okay. And please donate if you're that way inclined. Okay, so let's get on with it then, yes.
Really liking the new font, not as squinty.
Well, you
You
mean
don't
you
have to
can read it?
squint.
Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
I don't have
Okay.
to squint to read it. It's great.
Yeah, I think part of the problem was Specsavers stopped sponsoring the stream, so that was it.
Oh, bastards.
Okay. So this was the big one, wasn't it, in Blighty, or in fact worldwide, because it's on the Disney. Who
Denny.
Yes, who watched this? Yes, bogged already. Who watched this? Who
Yes.
Lord Words?
Well, I mean, I say I watched it. I had it on, and then I decided that I'd also play guitar, and that was more fun. So I didn't pay a huge amount of attention.
That's better, yes.
Yeah, it was much more fun than this. I don't know. It's been such a long time since I've seen Doctor Who. Avoiding, of course, like the thing that everyone's talking about, and just talking about it as
Yeah, we're
piece
not
of
talking about that.
television. Well, we probably have to, but
Later,
avoiding it for
maybe.
the
Yeah,
moment.
for the moment.
As a piece of television, it's been so long since I've seen Doctor Who that I don't really know exactly what I'm comparing it to, except that I don't really see why they wasted all of their special effects budget on reverse Grogu, which is what they had in this episode. Only then to give these weird sort of rubber costumes to the people who seem bad but aren't bad. And I get that it's doing old Who, but there's a difference between old Who tries to make itself as believable as possible using its very limited resources. And when you have a modern show with many, many, many more resources and great financial backing, because obviously Disney's partially involved in this one, if you're deliberately trying to go out of your way to pastiche the old thing, that's a very different sort of artistic proposition. And I do think it kind of works against whatever story Russell T Davies was trying to tell, because it just looks very, very silly in large numbers of places. In a way that it doesn't need to. And I think the costumes were actually bad, even by the standard of old practical effects as well.
Wow.
There's not a huge amount to talk about, I don't think, in terms of the story. It's fairly mundane. I'm not very familiar with the lore. I understand that it probably breaks bits and pieces of it because that's inevitable these days.
Yeah.
It seemed like a fairly unremarkable 5 out of 10 low budget TV show until, of course, you get to the fact that the whole thing's one massive allegory. But we might be saving that for later. So that's my 2 pence for now.
Brian, you watched this you took one for the team, did you not?
Took one for the team, Brownie. Took one for the team. Well, I've, as you well know, I've never been a big fan of Doctor Who. I could never quite get into it, not as a kid or an adult, but I did give this one a watch and suffered. What can I say about this? The visuals I thought were very nice, especially for a TV show. I thought the lighting, and I don't know if I can say cinematography for a TV show, but I'll say it anyway, was really pretty nice, especially at the beginning, and I think at the end, the kind of high contrast and that kind of saturated look. As for the story, oh dear. Starting off with I thought starting off with characters who were, relatively down the luck was a decent idea. I'm going to touch this very briefly, but the inclusion of the Transformers character was okay at the start. I thought you could sympathise a lot because of the bullies.
Yeah, I agree with that, totally.
but after the pronoun comment, that was a very, very,
Oh,
very awkward moment, and it just seemed to get worse and worse from then on. And it really did escalate to being hit over the head, which was kind of a shame. He could have made it watchable. As for the rest of it, the music I thought was really quite horrendously overbearing in it. The twist was pretty decent. Tennant, who I've never really seen as the Doctor, believe it or not, though I have seen him in a lot of decent productions like Des. He was fantastic in that. I thought he was really good in this.
yeah, he always has been.
Catherine Tate, I've never been a fan of. I think she was reasonable without being inspiring. And I've got to say that I think Meep aside, I thought the aliens looked cheaper than a Bullseye Series 1 prize board, to be quite honest. So
Here's what you could have won. Yeah.
I think all in it looked nice, but it really was pretty underwhelming.
Lovely smashing super. Z?
I thought Russell T Davies served up one of his worst outings to date. It's a boring, preachy, lackluster entry to the franchise, certainly not worthy of the 60th anniversary. I thought the performances were terrible. All of the characters sounded like they were phoning it in, which is very, very disappointing. The only exception being Miriam Margolyes, who I thought was excellent. Like the effects were pretty decent, highly polished.
Yeah, I thought
And despite what Brian said, I actually love the aliens, who were on par with their original comic counterparts. But I do agree that Murray Gold is excellent as usual, but the music was sometimes so overpowering it drowned out the action and dialogue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which was a bit of a pain.
It wasn't necessarily a bad thing, given what the dialogue was.
Yeah, very true.
Speaking of dialogue, Sword in the Storm, as soon as Donna started saying binary, I knew shit had hit the fan. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
I don't think I actually shit on the acting in my little one. I think I'd probably second. I can't remember who it was who said that the acting was pretty subpar throughout, but it really was. And Rose in particular is, that's some acting going on there. Giant spaceship flying through the sky, and it's just like reacts in exactly the same flat way as she does to everything else. That was almost distractingly bad acting, which is annoying because like, if you're going to try and tick boxes with diverse casting, for example, ideally what you do is you prove that this can aid your art by casting people who are actually quite good at what they do. But if you cast people on the basis of ticking a box who are so evidently out of their place and element there, who can't actually... I mean, there's actually an ironic line of dialogue at the end where Catherine Tate's character says of Rose that she doesn't want to go and see her school play because she can't act and she doesn't know how to tell her. And I'm thinking that's actually true of the actor in the show. Well done.
Yes, very good.
They had to make it super believable. No.
I'm just trying to think the stuff with Davros going on, wheelchair, evil. We had a good female disabled wheelchair user as the hero, one of the heroes from Unit, didn't we?
Yes.
As the opposite to Davros.
That was an interesting one because, in light of those comments, it just reveals the hypocrisy. It's absolutely fine, yes, to have a person in a wheelchair play a heroic role, but you can't possibly associate people in wheelchairs with villainy because that is to do bad things to disabled people. So you are effectively denying disabled people an entire, genre of character to play by saying they can't play villains. Some of the best characters in history are villains. And you're saying you can't possibly have an actor in that position because it will reflect badly on people with their disability, to which the obvious answer is fuck off. But as far as the actual wheelchair character in the show is concerned, though, I didn't really mind it too much. Again, I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention, so maybe I would have minded more if I had been paying attention. But I thought that if you're going to include, again, it's another tick box exercise, but if you're going to tick a box in that way, you can at least make it seem like it's a part of the show it's in. And giving her a James Bond style wheelchair with techs and gadgets and all the rest of that stuff actually kind of works. So if you're going to do it, have some fun with it and make it a part of the world you're building. Do not make the world an allegory for the person you've included, though, because that's very different.
It was just so obvious, though, with what we saw with Davros last week, that it's the other side of the seesaw, as it were. and it's just obvious. She can't even act. She couldn't even act, could she, Z? Not
No,
particularly well.
not really, not particularly. None of them could. It's quite disappointing.
I just said this was a 60th. Not good, is it?
No. If he had this in the middle of a series, it would be classed as a filler episode.
This is
Yeah.
why I was afraid to watch it, is that it would be completely subpar, if not complete shit. Just with the way that Doctor Who's going, the direction that Russell T Davies has been talking about going, even though I really had a nasty feeling about him when he came back. I don't know. I'm afraid to even touch Doctor Who anymore. I mean, Jodie pretty much killed it for me anyways, but it's just seeing all these characters or, archetypes that we've grown to love in the show turn to complete crap is just sad on its own. And for David Tennant's Doctor to just become a woke bastard, I'm not interested.
That was the only reason I was even slightly, because I've not watched Doctor Who, I don't think, since David Tennant. And so the fact he was back was probably one of the only things about it that stuck out to me as being kind of, potentially interesting. And obviously Russell T Davies returning. Because Russell T Davies back in his day, was a good storyteller. I think that's pretty much a fair assessment. He did good things with the character. He told pretty convincing stories. He does have an eye for character, and he is quite a creative guy. But the problem is, in the interim period, he's decided that he doesn't really want to be an artist anymore. What he very much wants to be is a propagandist. To that extent, he has then subordinated his actual gift, which are storytelling and compelling character work, for whatever the fashionable political point happens to be today. And yeah, it was inevitable when he was giving speeches, a couple of years ago, I think we said on this stream, this is a guy who's saying that LGB without the T is murder, for example. Like, of course he's going to add that into the show. Of course he's going to do it. He can't not do that because that's who he is now. And it is a bit depressing. You wouldn't get the sense from watching this episode, I don't think, that it's an anniversary of any kind. We actually tried to watch it after EFAB yesterday, but accidentally downloaded a random episode from Jodie's thing. And the introduction to that was actually more dramatically impressive than the 60th anniversary that we actually got. Yeah, pretty sad.
I was going to say, are we going to watch next week?
I don't think I am. I don't think there's
myself.
I feel like there's just no saving it. And, Russell T Davies is just, especially since he came out and said, oh, Chibnall is a friend and I really appreciate what he did with this. And I know I'm paraphrasing, but to hear him say things like that, it's like, well, we know where it's gone. But I'll counter you, Ben, on that. I never really cared for the Doctor and Rose romantic storyline. I found it to be extremely creepy that a 900-year-old would date an 18-year-old. But I never liked that aspect. And ever since then, I just never really trusted Russell T Davies. And I was like, oh, he's got a little bit of creepiness or something that's not right. And so I loved the Doctor with Donna. I think that Donna was his best companion. But that was just me. But even with her coming back, I'm just like, I just don't trust it. And I just don't think I can stand to watch it and just be really bummed out that oh, this is where the characters are now. This sucks,
I was doing a running commentary in our DMs. Okay. Rose, in speech marks, I'm different. Close speech marks. My chosen pronoun is, oh, Christ. Massive binary lecture right at the end.
Do we even need that? Does that have to be a part of entertainment everywhere you turn? Do you have to literally emphasize on pronouns or, what somebody's outside looks like rather than just what's in their heart? Do we really have to focus on that 24/7?
Well, that was the big mistake the show made, because the show has a couple of little devices it uses toward the beginning where you can kind of see if it take that approach going forward, then it would be a fairly unobtrusive inclusion of a trans storyline, for example, because at the beginning it is quite a personal thing. They talk about, Catherine Tate's character talks about how she's still sort of struggling to come to terms with it, for example, and you have the bullies on the street, and both of those are personal stories which actually make the character a bit more believable, because whatever, wherever you stand on the academic question, the fact is that there are some people out there who are trans. That's just a thing. And these are the experiences that they go through. And if you're going to do that or put that forward in a work of fiction, then you should make it believable and you should make it part of the world. Because as soon as you've done that, you've made them an interesting character. That's a personal dilemma that they have to face with the ones around them. And what matters is what they experience coming through that, like how they form relationships and how their story moves on. And in the end, the least interesting thing about them turns out to be their innate characteristics, or not innate if you don't believe in that, but for the purposes of this show, their innate characteristics shouldn't be the most interesting thing. It should be about the storytelling potential that arises from that.
Yes.
And that was okay at the beginning. And then they decide to take that and then they abstract it by having a pronouns argument about an alien and then making it the entire sort of summation of the episode is, there's no difference between men and women. But you, as a male presenting Time Lord, can't possibly understand this, even though if he's only presenting as a male, there's no fucking difference. And at that point, it just becomes didactic propaganda, and it ceases to be interested in the characters it's trying to put forward.
And I will say that it does have a huge editing potential. Does anybody remember the Avengers Endgame defeminized cut?
I don't think I've seen that.
No, where they cut out most of the women's scenes and made it a much more punchier version. You could probably edit out all the preaching and allegory and update it for non-modern audiences, and it'll be quite a punchy episode.
Yeah, it'd be about 10 minutes long, but it would be definitely punchy.
Sword in the Storm makes a nice little point here.
I was just going to press this one here. Gavin Blackburn, Michael Jackson's pronouns were he.
No, you have to go he.
Yeah, that was a bit more, but John Inman rather than Michael Jackson there, Brownie.
I'm free. When am I looking?
You're looking at Sword in Storm's chat message.
Lord, can you help me out?
Oh, never mind.
Is it this one?
Brown's Boomerang.
Sorry, folks.
Yes.
Boomer, my middle name. Care to read it, Brian?
Oh, Sword in the Storm in the chat says Donna had millions, but gave them away to help others, but not her granddad, who she put in a care home. Probably because he was a bloke. If it'd been his granny, her granny. I got her bloody pronouns wrong.
But didn't the actor die a few years back?
No, he was alive while they were filming this.
Oh, was
Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah, I thought he died before that.
No, he was. He died a month, perhaps, after filming finished.
Oh, that's sad because I loved his character in the Doctor Who series. He was a really likable character.
Don't they? Because there's a moment in the episode where they tell him that they imply that Bernard Cribbins' character is gone, and the Doctor assumes that he's dead, and so he gives his kind, emotional, impassioned, "I'm really sorry, I really love that guy," and then they say, "Oh no, he's not dead. We just stuck him in a home." And I think, what tone are we going for here? Because that's not good. And then, it's a good point about the lottery ticket, because I'm not familiar with the backstory for that, but I understand that does the Doctor leave Donna with this winning lottery ticket? And then in the intervening time, she's given all the money away except the amount of money that they needed to buy a house, except that they can't afford to run the house because she married a taxi driver. And apparently, I believe the reason given is that it's the Time Lord in her, which is inspiring her to be selfless. I think that's it. But that's not selfless. That's just criminally naive.
Yeah,
that's really stupid.
Yeah. It is.
The attempts of humour in this were probably worse than me after 6 pints of Harpic.
That's bleach, by the way, folks. Okay. Where's Ian when we need him? We need Ian to go in both barrels with this one, don't we, folks?
He's been remarkably silent, not his usual vocal self.
I think he's hiding.
Maybe he's just exhausted from the whole Rebecca Gold thing.
He's in mourning, probably. It's shit.
Oh, that was good.
Sword in the Storm. Her husband was such a cook.
He was.
Okay. Shit, isn't it? Shit, everybody. Okay.
Big steaming pile of shit.
It was. We were willing to give this a chance, were we not, folks? Z, I said many times this could be 3 episodes of joy, and
I'm
another
glad
one
you
of
brought
my.
that up because I was going to throw that back at you. It's like
I know you were.
The Flash could make $1 billion. We'll get 3 good episodes of
Flash
Doctor
will
Who
make
before the
a
message comes
billion.
in.
Flash will make $1 billion.
Name all the times
Da-da-da-da.
that Brown made wrong predictions. Go.
We-
Oh wait, we don't
I'm
have
We
that
should
like-
make
long.
a clip show.
Exactly.
I'm like the Zack Snyder of YouTube. I will get my victory one day. Don't know
It'll
when.
probably be posthumous, unfortunately.
Posthumous. Yes. What was the question again? We were looking forward to this, weren't we?
Yeah.
No.
You told Z
No.
that you'd said maybe we'll get
Yeah.
3 good episodes, and we were looking forward to it.
And I was
And then
wrong,
Ben called you
wasn't-
out.
Yeah, I was. No, I called myself out. Z, I was wrong, wasn't I? Chat, I was
were.
wrong, by the way.
It's terrible. I won't
Yeah,
be watching it again. It's one of those things I won't be watching again. Not at all.
Like I said, you guys, I just, with all the last 3 years of, bullshit entertainment, I had no hope for this, and I'm really glad I didn't watch it because I would have been bummed out. I really liked Doctor and Donna together, so I'm glad I did not see it.
If there wasn't any of the the messaging stuff, I think Lord was right, or whoever said it would have been just an average episode, but at least they would have got away with it. But yeah, it was the hammer to the teeth, wasn't it, Z? Like I said yesterday.
Yeah. And it didn't need to be that way.
No.
Russell T Davies chose it to be that way.
Yeah. Oh
And
dear.
he can eat all the dicks. If you're listening, Russell T Davies, eat all the dicks, especially the crusty, nasty ones.
Ugh.
The men's dicks, you can eat the women's dicks. You can eat all the dicks.
That's right. Every single dick.
They even upgraded his sonic screwdriver to do everything now, didn't they? Yeah, they can shove up his ass, yeah.
There you go.
The 170 people watching were disappointed, folks.
I did like the look on David Tennant's face though when he was being preached at about
Oh, that
his
was
male
fantastic,
presenting.
wasn't
That
it?
was very funny. If
He
I
just-
do ever do a video on this, and I probably
Yeah,
won't, but
he
if I
took
do,
it, didn't he? Yes, he took it.
yeah, slow panning into his facial expression, which is like what most of the audience is probably looking like seeing that scene.
Never mind. Never mind. Okay, shall we move on? Or sidestep even?
Oh, is it a sidestep?
Okay. Andy or Atomic Blonde said, she said, ouch. 5.8 million overnight for the Star Beast. Not good. Not
No.
even David Tennant could bring the fans back. Maybe now the BBC will realise just how much damage has been done. What do you think, folks?
It's not great.
Agreed.
I don't
agree
know
with
what
her
BBC
sentiments.
viewing figures are like. I don't really have anything to compare it to. What would be a good
The
viewing?
50th anniversary was watched by 10.61 million people.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not good.
No.
Did
It's
Whittaker
supposed to
get
be a
the,
big event.
60th? It was beaten by Strictly and was it a quiz show before or something? I can't remember.
I could kind of believe it with Strictly because all those reality TV shows and the competition shows they're so weird in the way that they attract just hundreds of millions of absolute morons to watch them. So like that's not necessarily unexpected, but yeah, the comparison with the 50th anniversary is a good one. So it's shared half the audience over the course of the last decade.
Plus, we had it in the cinema.
It was in the cinema.
50th. Yeah, it
It
was in the
was, yeah.
50th, and
Oh,
I went to see it, and it was packed. It had families, kids, adults, saddos like me, and it was just such a really, really good atmosphere.
Mm.
Not for the 60th.
I think the interesting thing will be what the next special gets, though, because then you'll see what damage it's done. Is it just that people are put off generally by the entire franchise, and is this just sort of legacy Jodie stuff and the damage that she's done, which has created a lack of interest? Or is it going to be the case that actually, no, that we can definitely pin it on the message if they bring Tennant back for this, and the definitive point of the episode is the message, and the second special gets half again as many? Because I think that at that point you can say quite definitively, yeah, this is the audience is not just apathetic; they're quite pissed off by the whole thing.
Wouldn't it be like a combination of both? Maybe.
Oh yeah, there'll be a combination of both, certainly. But it's a case of trying to work out which is the biggest driving factor. Is
Oh,
it mere
true.
apathy, or is it apathy motivated by a little bit more anger? And I think, yeah, I'd be interested to see what the second special gets. Is the second special next week? I don't even know how
Yeah, it's,
regular.
Yeah, it's
it
next
is.
Saturday.
Ooh, good.
I think in comparison, Jodie's last special, Revolution of the Daleks, got 4.69 million viewers, but the Flux series, which was before that, averaged out about 5.46 million. So it's less than the last big Jodie Whittaker story.
there should have been people who were, there were kids, people, 10. Was it about 15 years ago Tennant left? Was it about 15 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there should have been kids who were kids back then, young adults now who having happy times of being a fan of Who, should have been just really engaged with this. Where were they?
Probably lost interest and, like Ben said, just apathetic. Like,
Oh dear. Is it you was going to say?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, let's move on then. Brian, anything to add? It's not good, is it?
Bogged.
Yeah, bogged. Let's move on, folks. A sidestep here. Here we go. Although the inside of the TARDIS did look pretty good, did it not, Z?
I loved it. I thought it was great. It looks like you could skateboard around that with ease,
Yeah.
mhm.
which it's probably been designed to be wheelchair accessible.
I didn't even think
Good
about
point.
that.
Yeah, they put the ramps in preparation.
Oh yeah.
They have, yeah. So you're guaranteed to see the unit scientific advisor in there and Wilf being
Oh my god! I
pushed
didn't even
around.
think of that. Well done. That's I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like to me. Is all levels can be accessed by ramps. The only thing I didn't like is when an emergency was going on, it turned into a rave.
Oh, I don't know.
You know, all the lights started going red and flashing on and off.
Coffee machine.
Yeah, I felt like I was
And
at
Donna-
Uncle John's.
Yeah. Donna spilt the coffee on the console, and obviously all
Yeah,
woke
what's
in.
the point of having a console that dispenses liquid if the console itself is vulnerable to liquid?
Don't
Anyone?
know.
No, don't go there.
I was gonna say something really horrible. So
Was it because it was convenient to the plot?
Oh, I
Having the
don't
coffee
know.
machine?
Probably.
It wasn't
Well, we
convenient to this plot, but it might be. Maybe it will feature in the next one.
Well, we need the TARDIS to blow up and take them somewhere they don't know where they're going. How can we accomplish that? Oh, let's have Donna do something really wacky, like spill coffee on it. Oh, let's have it a coffee dispenser on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
reasons.
God, that sounds great. Russell T Davies, you're the man.
so creative.
Yeah.
Don't know.
This to
It
me
was
looks
just-
a bit like the Camino one's designed in IKEA Christmas aisle.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a big fan. Sorry, Lord, carry on.
No. I thought I was going to say something similar, but I was going to go for like Apple Store as opposed to Camino ones. But I think the Camino ones is better. It does look like Camino. They obviously spent a lot of money on it. I mean, that seems to be between this and the Furby thing. This is where all the money went.
Mm. And that's an actual stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked
As far
like
as
it. I
I'm
was trying to
aware.
detect a green screen or a volume somewhere, but it does look like an actual stage.
I thought it could be very, very clever use of the volume, because I know there is a volume in London. Moving on.
A what? A volume?
Yeah, the big LCD screen one.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
There is one of those in London at Pinewood. Because it did look very, very impressive.
Mm, very much so.
I couldn't see the joins.
I like the opening sequence as well. The flight mode at the start.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. So it's got
So
some
there are,
things going for it. It's got some
yeah,
good elements.
not where it counts though. Yeah.
Not where it counts.
Okay, let's move on.
I read that as Mel Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
It may as well be.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think it.
So the
Mel Gibson.
publicity is starting for the. We've not got rid of Tennant. Yeah. New look at Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson in Doctor Who.
Yay.
I thought Millie Gibson was quite attractive when they announced her.
She looks like a boy with long hair.
Yeah, I don't know what they've done there, but yeah.
Very masculine.
Non-binary, perhaps.
You never know. They haven't announced it yet, right?
Oh, I don't understand half of that.
And isn't Neil Patrick Harris supposed to be in the new series once he takes over this new Doctor?
No, Neil Patrick Harris in the specials.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Look who's here, everybody. Punchable face.
Sweet.
They had to defeminize her. Yes, that's the way.
That's a good punchable face.
Yeah. Okay. Anything to add? Because I've had enough of Doctor Who already.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Do it.
I hope there's not another Doctor Who. I can't remember.
Another 7 Doctor Who slate to get our teeth right into.
Another sidestep to the other side.
I'll just say, folks, it is dead. It's not even resting.
R.I.P. Doctor Who.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of dead, looks like Disney has got another massive flop on their hands. Wish.
I didn't even know this was a thing. When was what is Wish? When did that come out?
They kind of made it a quiet opening, right?
Where did I see the trailer? Cineworld the other week. What did I go see? Oh yeah, at the Marvels. They were advertising this trailer for the Marvels. It did look very, very diverse.
I've seen this trailer. I've started taking the young fella to the cinema, and I've seen this trailer about 14 times so
Oh my
far,
goodness.
and I'm thoroughly sick of it. But I also absolutely detest Disney films, especially the animated ones. They've almost got a kind of horrible air of melancholy about them. And I was hoping he wasn't going to ask to see this, but thank God he has no interest in it whatsoever. Probably Matty's going to have to take his kids along.
Oh, poor Matt.
Endure this.
Here you go, Lord Wahoo. Wish is bad, really bad. And oh, sorry, chat moved up. Wish is stealth bombing in theaters.
Nice. Because I don't recall them like really doing a lot of advertising for this. So, you know, if it wasn't for social media, I probably wouldn't even know it exists, to be honest.
I don't understand how a company can just keep putting
out shite.
Yeah, putting out shite. Is it just a bottomless pit of
stupidity?
Woke money coming their way from what is it? All the ESG stuff.
Is it more of a systemic problem with Disney? Because you're seeing this across the MCU. You're seeing this across all of their animation studios. You've got massive downturns in their parks. And Star Wars is at bottom of the barrel at the moment. So I don't know what's going on there right now.
There you go. Stephen Amore in the chat. Sorry, Stephen. At the shareholders meeting, shareholders were really angry.
Hmm?
Yeah, they have been quietly sidling up to the position that just perhaps pushing the agenda has not served their shareholders particularly well, which is interesting because that was always the major criticism of taking the ESG buck, is that you are setting up a rival and competing motive for a company. The traditional first duty of a company is to its shareholders, and ESG deliberately set itself up to be a rival to that ambition. And it's supposed to be, no, you're not shareholders anymore. What matters is stakeholders. They broadened the term to stakeholders. And stakeholders conveniently means anyone you want it to mean. So you are serving your stakeholders in stakeholder capitalism. If you push particular progressive messaging across your Disney films, for example, the fact that you make no money for your shareholders is, well, they'd like it to be by the by, except that there are quite a lot of legal duties as regards shareholders and the companies in which they own shares. And before long, I think Disney is probably getting to that point already. You're going to start seeing people get a little bit antsy with their lawyers about what Disney's doing with their company, or at least their shares in that company. This is just another example. But it's not like, this is not the kind of thing that you can pin on like someone like Kathleen Kennedy, who cops a lot of fair flack, but also a lot of unfair flack, given, as has been pointed out, this is a systemic Disney problem. And it's probably the product of about a decade's worth of hiring decisions and company priority shifting in this direction. And it's across everything under the Disney stable. So it's not going to go away anytime soon either. But, you know, it's whether or not Disney can reverse course very, very quickly, or whether it has to be pushed into doing so when people start suing the hell out of it.
Let's not forget we're getting the Disney side of it for Doctor Who as well. So Princess Fiona, wish is a allegory for God being wrong and women know better. Not kidding. At Mr. Brown Lines. That's me.
Oh, dear Lord.
That women know better than God.
Really?
That sounds fun.
That's interesting.
Rennie, do you know better than God?
Definitely not. I admit that I am full of human error from time to time, you know. So I don't think I'm really better than anyone.
Here you go, folks. Fiona again. Disney admits in SEC filing that they may face challenges by having a conflicting vision than their customers.
Yeah,
What?
to put it mildly.
Jim D. This shit won't stop until Iger retires.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah.
because we had the interregnum with Bob Chapek, and obviously Chapek was,
that's
was an
true.
Iger hire, but Iger had nominally retired at that point, and then he decided that he could try and manipulate things from behind the scenes, and then it didn't work, so he came back. There's no guarantee that if he retires again, he won't parachute in his preferred candidate once again. I agree, it would be nice to see him disappear off the scene entirely, but these people are like parasites. It's really hard to get rid of them.
Here you go, folks. J86 Southpaw. Hello, my friend. Wish wasn't woke. To be fair, it was just forgettable as hell. Oh dear. Okay. So another flop by the sounds of it. Shall we proceed? Yes.
Move along.
Move along. Ridley Scott's Napoleon opens #2 worldwide with 78.8 million.
Which is number one? Is it the Hunger Games thing that's still number one?
There is a list in a moment.
Okay. Because you'd expect from Ridley Scott's perspective, he'd be a little bit pissed if his massive historical epic opens at number 2.
Apparently the reviews are not favourable for this. It's edging towards a comedy, unintentional comedy, apparently.
Yeah, that's what Uninspired Reviewer said, I think. I've not had time to see it yet. I believe they're releasing a longer version of it on Apple TV at some point. And it will be interesting to compare those, because it might just be the case that they've cut out the important scenes for the cinematic release, which would be dumb, but, if they're trying to save the time. And maybe it will be improved by having an extra, couple of hours tacked onto it.
Will any of the panel be watching this?
No.
No.
Eventually, I might.
I think
was going to watch it. Sorry, Rennie.
No, you're okay. I just wanted to real quick say our friend Uninspired Reviewer, I think he's watching it today. But that's the only person that I know that was like semi-interested in watching this movie.
He said it was. Did he say it was airing towards comedy, and he quite enjoyed it for all the wrong reasons? Did he say, if I remember correctly?
I don't remember. I just know he said he was going to watch it today. I don't remember him commenting on it yet.
Brian, you was going to say?
Sorry, Brian.
I was looking forward to seeing this movie. Apart from a little bit of the trailer put me off, which is talking about having a small cock. I didn't think that was particularly appropriate. I don't like the washed out look. That seems to be either incredibly washed out with yellow or blue, depending on which scene. Especially when you see the costumes and the production photographs that are very, very vibrant. But that appears to be a small complaint compared to what RRTNZ told us last night. He reckons it is not a great film in the slightest. And even the man you could normally rely on, Joaquin Phoenix, is apparently not particularly good in this, especially at the very start. So I'm disappointed already, and I haven't even put the video in the VCR yet.
Oh, no. It's not doing that very well, is it? I heard that Ridley Scott keeps getting calls in the middle of the night from Christopher Nolan, who's just laughing.
Here you go, folks. Don. Ranger Power at Mr. Barnes says me. I shall give Napoleon and Wish a try when they hit home media and streaming, but Good Burger 2 and Dashing Through the Dashing Through the Snow.
Is it dashing through the shit?
May as well be. Are better for me than both. Yeah.
I can't believe they made a Good Burger too. I just saw the advertisement for that or the trailer for that.
A lot of people have been saying watch the 1927 Napoleon is an epic and classic.
That's often the way. It's the same thing with Titanic. Wildly successful when James Cameron does it, but the original is the 1950, I want to say 57 version, the 50s version, is better. And this is usually the case. Same thing with Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, the original Dunkirk, miles better than the remake. Yeah. The remakes have flashy effects and they've got huge amounts of money, but they don't have an ounce of the character or the personality. And I'm getting a bit bored of these grand sort of historical reimaginings that try to be more. Like, the whole point of being creative with the truth and taking artistic license is that you're supposed to improve the quality of the art at the expense of the history, which is the only way to justify dispensing with the history. So if you come up with something which is bland and generic and cliche, and you've taken license to do it, then you failed twice over. But it is Ridley Scott, and that's kind of where he is now.
Here you go, Joe Darkness. Hello, Joe. I'd agree with this. Watch any Sharp episode.
Major Sharp. Do you know, every single shot I see of Joaquin here, it's fart sniffing of Book of Boba Fett proportions.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not wrong.
There you go, folks. Lord Wahoo. The 1976 Midway is significantly better than the 2019 version. Yeah, the 76 version of Midway. Great war movie. Okay. Shall we move on? Ridley Scott's lost it, hasn't he? Long ago.
Yeah, but I think we've probably known that since at least Prometheus. So it's just more of the same. But at least he pissed off the French, so there's something to be said for it.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, so these are the totals. Well, there you go. So, Thanksgiving worldwide box office totals. I'll do them from the bottom. Number 5, Thanksgiving, 11.1. Do we know what that is?
That's a horror movie about a killer pilgrim, I believe. I saw like a brief trailer for it on YouTube, and I was like, is this like for real? And it's real.
Number 4, Trolls Band Together, 25.3.
I have seen it. I'm sorry, Z. I'm going to say that I endured it. I hated it from the start to the very end. I was almost vomiting in the cinema and look for any excuse to run to the clergy and get away from. It's just, I hate it. I hate it more than.
But Brian, they had to escape from their diamonds by achieving the perfect harmony.
Exactly, and that's why I hate it.
Is it because they were all auto-tuned? They could never hit that perfect harmony.
Just yourself and Matt Cat both rated it relatively highly. I don't know if you've seen the previous ones, but
I have. Yeah, my wife is addicted to the Trolls movies.
God, it was bloody awful. It's probably the same way that my father felt when he had to sit and endure Transformers in 1986.
Number 3, Brian will understand this. Pish.
Pish.
49 million. Coming in at number 2. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Hey, pop pickers.
68 million. I think we said this last week. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
It's Hungry prequel.
Yeah, we'll probably just drag it out, not to lose any money. Yeah, I don't think it'll lose anything.
It's not completely flatlined, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my sister went to see it, but I'm just assuming I've heard nothing about it because I am so far removed from the target audience of like young adult girl hero stuff.
And coming in at number 1, new entry, Napoleon, 78.8. So there you go.
It's not like the best roll call, is it, for Thanksgiving weekend? There's not a single film on there that I really, really want to go out of my way to see.
I would have actually watched Thanksgiving if it didn't look so cheesy. It's an Eli Roth film, so I mean, it's probably going to be really creepy, but it just looks so freaking cheesy. And it's got Patrick Dempsey in it too. So
Unless I've seen Patrick Dempsey, real life Dr. Drake Ramone.
There you go. Arch Colin.
Oh my gosh.
Is me. Is that the total since? That's the totals it's taken this weekend. Obviously, I think Ballad of Songbirds has been out a couple of weeks. Yeah,
I think so.
so it's just this weekend. I think is it from Thursday to Sunday or something probably for this.
I think it's Thursday to Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't count Sunday in the
Oh, okay.
numbers.
Right. Okay.
That was weeks ago that I endured Trolls Band Together. I'm surprised it's still so high.
Take the kids.
Yar.
Okay, let's move on.
Sorry, Z.
Did anybody see this? Brian O'Malley says the Scott Pilgrim anime likely won't get season 2. People are always complaining about how shows get cancelled after one season. So we hedged our bets immediately and tried to make a self-contained one season. Meaning they got rid of Scott Pilgrim in his
Yeah,
own
they
show.
killed him off, didn't they?
It's like
They did a bait
He-Man
and
syndrome.
switch. Yeah.
Bait and switch.
It's
Nobody
like, oh,
wants
if
to
He-Man
watch,
can do it, so can we.
So there you go.
Sorry, Z.
See, everybody's
nobody
coming
wants
in
to
hot. Look,
watch a Ramona Flowers series. They want to watch Scott Pilgrim. Just not interested. As soon as I heard that they'd killed him off, that was, oh, fuck it, I'm not watching it.
yeah.
Maybe he was victim of the Thanksgiving Pilgrim. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I will say this. Here you go. Hammer Biotech. Wait, the Marvels has collapsed out of the top 5 already. Yes. That's not good, is it?
Was it ever in the top 5? Here at number 147, it's the Marvels.
Here you go, folks. Chato said this was good.
Oh,
What?
Oh, Brown. You didn't know that?
Retro Lad. David Tennant was great, but this was horrible. Wow. Archer Colin, I have no idea who Scott Pilgrim even is.
that sounds like a Time Prophet comment, that one.
Yeah. Here you go. Amelia Bedelia. Vex made a critique about it. Yeah, Vex who tipped us off literally within 2 minutes of it being released, saying bait and switch. Yeah. Okay. So none of us are interested, yes.
I
No,
wasn't
not
interested in
interested.
I hated the original film.
What?
I
It's
just-
all right.
Bloody awful it were. No, I wasn't a fan. It was like a computer game, and I couldn't turn it off quick enough.
much like this still. Let's move on. Okay, so Mark Hamill says he will no longer play the Joker. He adds he doesn't want to voice the role without Kevin Conroy. Without Batman, crime has no punchline.
Oh, that's very respectful. Kevin Conroy was an awesome person and very passionate and great at playing the animated series Batman. So that's pretty kind.
Z, you were into the animation, wasn't you?
Yeah. I've got most of the DC Universe animation stuff on my system right now, from Batman animated series, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, even the other Batman series from like 2004 and Young Justice. And I love DC animation, far superior to its live action counterparts.
Totally agree with that. It wouldn't be the same without like Conroy's Batman to go with his Joker. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be right.
Here you go, folks. Side effect. This channel should be renamed as Shit We Won't Watch. We'd love to watch good stuff, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not happening.
You need to make some good stuff.
There is nothing I'm watching at the moment.
Make some decent entertainment, and I promise we'll watch it.
Lord, is there anything you're watching? I know you're very busy.
No.
Short but sweet. Z?
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Well, only Monarch Legacy of Monsters and Invincible, which has now dropped 4 episodes, so it's on a break until 2024.
What's that about for the uninitiated?
What, Invincible? The superpower animated series superhero thing.
And did you say Monarch?
Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It ties into the Monsterverse, Godzilla, King Kong, that sort of thing. It's the founding of the organization that's meant to protect the Earth from these creatures. Really good, actually. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. 3 episodes in.
Did you say that was live action?
It is live action, yeah. You do get to see quite a few monsters in it, but they're not heavy on it. The story doesn't rely on it. It's more of narrative based as opposed to just filling gaps with monsters fighting each other. So I would say go take a look. Worth investing some time in.
Monarch, yeah. Brian, anything you're watching?
Not really, other than some old classics I think I spoke about last night. But
Batman 89.
well, just hey, so welcome to Subtle Hints on the Brown Show. But just talking about this. Just talking about the Mark Hamill situation. It's a nice little mark of respect. I didn't watch the cartoon as such, but I do have a Harley Quinn animated cell from Warner Brothers signed by Paul Dini that I'm very fond of. But I really loved the Arkham games that featured both Hamill and Conroy, and I was very saddened when we lost the man. I think he's a terrific guy. He had so much time for the fans as well, and a very close depiction as to how I would think Batman would be.
I don't think Ian's going to be joining us tonight. He says, I just got home working my ass off. Oh dear. Okay. Right. Shall we move on then, folks? Rennie, is there anything you're watching? Sorry, forgive me.
No, you're okay. Typically the hubby and I just mainly watch reruns anymore. So I think we're in the middle of rewatching Twin Peaks, but there's nothing current that's entertaining aside from that recent episode of South Park. But really, other than that, what's
Bob
that?
Bob used to scare the bejesus out of me.
Oh my gosh, wasn't
in
he
the day.
just like naturally creepy and that's just how he looked? Do you know that he was cast like basically not on purpose? So Bob's character was cast because he wound up making it into one of the frames and David Lynch thought he was so freaking creepy. He's like, "You're Bob." That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. And he did a great job. He didn't even have any acting experience. So how awesome is that? So
Just turned up in his double denim and scared the bejesus out of everyone.
Double denim. Okay, shall we move on?
Move along.
yeah,
Move along.
do it.
Do it.
Sorry for the sidestep or sidetrack.
I didn't know this proper. Moving on. I saw this today. Willem Dafoe reveals that he will star as a dead police detective in the afterlife in Beetlejuice 2. In life, I was a B-movie action star, but I had an accident, and that's what sent me to the other side.
Okay.
I
Is that
Okay.
is that in fiction
why
or
did
in real
we need
life
to
he's
know
talking about?
that? Why?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know. Here you go. Sword in the Storm. Oh, so chat moved up. Here you go. I predict Beetlejuice will be a shite.
Who's Willem Dafoe gonna play in Beetlejuice? Is he gonna be like Beetlejuice's dad? Well, not really, because he and Michael Keaton aren't that far apart in age, right? So, like, who's he gonna be? I mean, he already looks dead, anyways, like in real life without makeup. So, why? Why would you cast him in that?
I don't know. Here you go. Manuel Grell. Sigh. They just can't leave the classics alone, can they?
Well, I think it's because when they either run out of ideas or run out of good ideas, when they notice that nobody's watching their stuff, it's like, oh, well, we'll just bring out some member berries or stuff that we know everybody loves, and we'll add to it or make a sequel or make an ultimate edition, and we know we're going to get views on this.
Here you go, folks.
It's usually a flash in the pan thing as well. Even it works for something like Top Gun Maverick because it's very much a one-off, and it comes, it's paying homage to a much-loved, inexplicably much-loved film
Yeah.
from the 1980s. And there's a one-off thing, it pays off character beats, it does a reasonably good job on its own, and then it goes away again. And so it's done its job. I'm trying to think, has there been a revival of any old property recently that we can look at and say, yeah, that was an unqualified success?
Star Wars?
No, that's an unqualified success. I'll go look at Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai,
Cobra Kai.
yes.
That's a perfect example of how to bring an IP back properly and engage a modern audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got something for everyone that has.
And it's largely because that was continuing, as a continuation, as I understand it, of the original story anyway. And so it's not sort of shallow member berries. It's no, this is the next chapter in the lives of the people that you know. So it's got a story worth telling with characters who deserve to come back onto the screen. Whereas
Yes, very much so.
a huge number of these just don't. They are, as Rennie says, they are just there because they've got name recognition, and we are desperate for anything that gets bums on seats these days, which is really depressing. I would much prefer like a mid-tier new thing than a mid-tier rehash of something we've already done.
What about Twin Peaks: The Return?
I liked it. I really liked it. It was weird AF, and you could tell they went all out with the budget because they didn't have as much in the 90s as they did in like 2015, I think is when they filmed it. But I still liked it. Like I said, it was weird. It was creepy. I didn't care. I was like, this is awesome. Except for I still don't get why they ended it the way they did.
Amelia Bedelia, Mario Brothers.
I don't know. I'm not actually sure. I'd class the Super Mario Brothers film as a reboot or a rehash, just because it's doing something in the medium that hasn't really been done before, unless you're counting that one from the 90s, which nobody counts because it was disastrous.
Here you go, folks. Tom has some thoughts. Picard S3.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Shame they'd killed it by S1 and S2, but Stream Killer.
This has
Cue
been
the
the Stream Killer weekend
Killer.
on the Brown Alliance.
Yeah, we've never had so many Stream Killers in 2 days.
Brown
Okay.
stream killing streams. I like it.
Yeah, we're good at that. Here we go. Sorry, chat moved up. Lots of chat tonight. Here we go. Cider feeds. Would Reacher count?
I do not know what that is, so I cannot answer the question.
Jack Reacher TV series.
The Child books adaptation. Yep.
Not familiar. Maybe
Tom
though.
Cruise played the part, I think it was 2012.
Yeah.
Little Tom playing a 6'5".
Wee Tam.
Wee
Yeah.
Tam playing a 6'5" madman.
Okay. Moving on, yeah. Let's move on. I know that Ian really liked Reacher. Okay. The WGA, I assume that's Writers Guild America, has threatened legal action against Amazon for keeping certain shows on hold after the strike ended. The Silk series is one of the shows that is still suspended. What does that mean then?
Maybe that they're complaining that actions have consequences. You know, they've cost Amazon quite a lot of money in negotiations. They've cost Amazon quite a lot of money going forward by increasing wage demands, residual demands, and things like that. And they've also created an opportunity for a pause in which Amazon has time to reevaluate what products it thinks are worth pursuing and which are not. It's kind of just what you would expect to happen at this point. Whether or not they have any chance of succeeding through legal action will depend entirely on the contractual arrangements between Amazon and the writers. If they have a guarantee in the contract that X property will in fact be completed and released, then the WGA might have a point. But I don't know that many, certainly not most shows will have that kind of thing.
But Amazon's also got to do with the absolute failure of Rings of Power and the impending demise of the superhero genre. Do they really want to invest that sort of money into this sort of project?
Yeah, because in the interim, during the course of the strike, they've seen the Marvels come out, for example, and then how much money that costs and how much money it's lost. And off the back of the failure of Ant-Man Quantumania, which doesn't even have the strike and publicity restrictions as an excuse, and the broader failures of DC as well, what used to be a huge, a surefire thing. This is the reason cinemas used to block book, every single screen for the latest Marvel thing for the next several weeks. That's a decision made well in advance that's now been proven perhaps not to have been quite so wise. And so, as you say, Amazon is probably evaluating the things that are going on around it and maybe looking at some of the superhero-related things in particular and saying, is that really the kind of thing we want to be, sinking the rest of the cost into, or should we maybe get out while we're ahead? And then Rings of Power Season 2 obviously is next year, and I'm sure they'll want all the focus to be on that undoubted masterpiece.
Did you ever get anything out for the Rings of Power?
How do you mean?
Video reviews, or I can't remember. I'm old.
Yeah, I did 2 videos. I don't actually remember if that's 2 episodes or if I combined 2 episodes. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But I've got, people keep saying finish the series. I'm going to finish the series. I will finish the series before Season 2 comes out. That's the plan.
So you've got about 3 years.
No, I think Season 2's next year, isn't it? I think.
Is it?
I believe it is. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be.
But you better get your finger out then, Lord.
Yes, well, once the Marvels is done,
That sounds like an invite. But
eager folks, Melvin Deeply at Mr. Brown Alliance with me. Have a TV show quiz. The Reacher round would be hilarious.
Z's got to be on that show.
Oh, yes, please, miss.
That's the prize. A night with Z3PO.
Ooh.
One night.
Yeah. Maybe we should do something like that, a quiz or something. Something fun.
Pub quiz drinking stream.
Somebody said we should do naughty stuff, but we won't kind of do rave stuff. Not good.
Oh, God. Welcome to the Class A stream.
Yes. Okay. Mega. I'll start again.
Blech.
Mega Spider. Spidey. My teeth are not working. Mega Spidey Man. In fact, Z, this is gold coloured. You know the rule.
A Mega Spidey Man for €10, which is not real money. He just discovered there's a CGI reboot of He-Man on Netflix from Rob David, starring Yuri Lowenthal's He-Man, Ben Diskin's Skeletor, Kevin Conroy as Hordak. Apparently well received. Smith, not writing.
Wow.
So it's not Revelations, it's something else.
Well, it looks like it.
Because
Oh, I don't
Revelations is the
know.
one where they killed him twice, remember? And we had
Yeah,
a
they did. They
Yeah.
killed him twice.
the one
Once
where I
wasn't
ended up
enough. Yeah,
fighting with Scotty on the stream a couple of years ago, remember?
yeah. Was that 2 years ago?
It was over 2 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm?
It's all very depressing, isn't it? Okay, shall we move on? I'm sure that Amazon are just going to trash a load of series, but anyway. Let's move on. Obscure one, folks. First look at Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman series starring Theo James and Giancarlo Esposito, releasing in 2024.
Is Giancarlo Esposito playing the baddie for a change?
Possibly. Did anybody see the movie? This is based on a movie. I think
No.
it was released during
Mm-mm.
lockdown. It was quite entertaining for a Guy Ritchie.
What's it about?
It's kind of one of his kind of I don't know, high concept in inverted commas London gangster flick. You go, punch my face. Yes, it was okay. In fact, here we go. Yeah, big problema. Sounds like he was. Oh, yeah, here we go. Giancarlo will play Gus again. So yeah, bad guy. We're not feeling this, are we? Welcome
No.
to the Dying on My Arse stream with Mr. Brown Alliance.
I think, like, honestly, Brown, though, and I'm pretty sure chat may agree with that as well, or with this as well. But I think when you get so used to shit entertainment, it's like, I don't really know if I want to try the new flavor of the month or the new thing that's coming out because it's probably going to be shit as well. So, why set yourself up for disappointment? Can't blame anybody for not being excited,
Here you go, common people. I'd watch it again, yeah.
I haven't
I do-
watched. Sorry, Brown, when you go.
No, you.
I haven't watched a Guy Ritchie film in quite some time, but I did like Lock, Stock, Snatch, and
I
Rock
like
and Roller,
them.
especially.
Yeah, I like them though. I don't know why. I just find them entertaining.
Yeah,
Is that a
they've
bad
been half
thing?
decent, but I haven't. I don't know what about his more recent ones. Man from Uncle wasn't particularly great, was it?
Oh, I didn't mind
No.
that.
Cavill was Cavill in that?
Yes.
Yes.
and
And
I
that was a
didn't
sp-
know about it. That's a shame.
And that
Shame
other
on me.
person.
Arnie Hammer.
Yeah.
Oof. He shall not be named. He who shall not be named.
I just did name him.
Shall not be named.
God, yeah.
Yes, he does naughty stuff.
He's gonna get you.
Here you go, student. Rock and Roller is the best. That was going to be a series of movies, wasn't it? And it never took off because it didn't do very well.
Even Gerard Butler's good in Rock and Roller.
Yeah.
Helps that he's not trying to do a shite American accent.
Here you go. Melvin Deeply. The Gentleman wasn't good at all. I liked Man from Uncle.
Oof.
There you go, folks. Okay, so I'm assuming because it's Netflix, it'll be one season. They'll just bin it. Even if it's good, they'll just bin it. So, okay. Shall we move on?
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Moving on. Christopher Nolan denies that he will direct the next James Bond film. No truth to those rumours.
Great title for a Bond film.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, no truth to those rumours. Yeah. No Time to Die was on TV tonight.
Did you
So
watch it?
What do you think, Lord?
Did you watch Teen Wolf instead, Brown?
What do you think, Brian?
You went with the hairy face.
I did, yeah.
After the last film, I just don't care about Bond anymore.
I know.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
What's the point? He's dead.
Mm.
not even
Yeah, we
resting,
said
is
it
he?
before. I want a stylized, quirky 1960s set Cold War espionage thriller with lots of gadgets and a good Bond who actually looks and acts and sounds like Bond, and for it to be directed by someone who isn't a complete cad and written by someone who isn't a twat. And, you know, that would be quite fun, I think. Go back in time, bring some class back to the role.
Nolan could do a very, very good Bond.
I don't know, because we wouldn't be able to hear any of the dialogue. So
Well, there
it's
is
kind of,
that, but I don't think he'd kill him off, though, would he? In his own movie, in his own
you'd hope not.
franchise.
No.
Dear Lord.
I wouldn't like to do that at all. Oh, it's sad. 50 or so years of being a Bond fan. Weaned on Bond, bottle fed on Bond, and
Bummed on Bond.
yeah, dry bummed everybody, which is never pleasant.
Well, you would know more than any of us.
It's a man of experience there.
That's
Those years
right.
hanging around Portsmouth docks, Brown.
Scarborough, shall we move on? It's a sidestep. A little
Oh,
bit of
here we go.
Nolan stuff this week.
Is there anyone you can imagine directing a good Bond film besides Nolan? Any other candidates?
Nia DaCosta.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, get her to do it. You might as well hand the reins over to Taika Waititi.
Jessica, is it Chow?
Jessica Chow.
The one who did Internals. I'd go to see that.
What
Oh,
about
get
it?
out.
Taika Waititi?
Titty,
Meta Bond.
this is a good call, bear with me. Chat moved up. Ridley Scott, oh dear. What about Denis Villeneuve?
4-hour-long Bond film that goes nowhere.
Don't
Sounds
they have
good
to
to me.
be
Part one.
English in order to direct it? Isn't that like part of the criteria?
It used to be.
Oh, I like this suggestion Max Broomfondle has. Edgar Wright.
You know, that's a. Sorry, chat moved up. Chat's on fire tonight. Sorry, folks. I can't keep up.
Where were
Edgar
they
Wright.
yesterday?
Edgar Wright is more of, I think his comedy's more his sweet spot. If you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, I like what he did with I like the Cornetto trilogy, but I mean,
Yeah.
he can do like crime because he did Hot Fuzz, but yeah.
Greta Gerthberg.
What?
That's a
Is that the
fat
one
bag.
who did Barbie?
No.
Greta
Okay.
Gerwig.
That was Gerwig.
Yeah. And on that bombshell,
Moving on.
we'll give the last word actually just popped in there. Look at this. Oof.
You like a bit of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, don't you, Brown?
I think he's secretly got a big time crush on her. It's like between her and Brie, he doesn't know who he wants more.
Brie all day long.
You say that, but then you're probably stroking
no.
your picture of Phoebe in the background that we can't see.
I don't own such a picture.
Phoebe's nose and Bree's feet.
Ultimate combo or the ultimate woman.
Phoebe's coming for you, everybody, especially if you're into Tomb Raider.
Oh no.
She's coming for you.
Ugliest Laura Croft ever.
Oh, this is a good call. Christopher McQuarrie, yeah, that's a good call.
Did you say something about moving on?
Yes. Got sidetracked.
Bogged.
Okay, so just a little sidestep. Christopher Nolan says if you buy a 4K UHD, it's on your shelf. It's yours. No company is going to break into your house and take it from you. That's never really the case with digital distribution. You're relying on the continued health of the supplier.
Well,
And
yes,
obviously
you
the-
obviously are, because some people have bought stuff on various different services that have since gone offline and have lost
Yeah.
their entire library of movies.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's I know Ultraviolet died here. That's one of them that used to do like when you'd buy like a Blu-ray or a DVD, they would have a digital copy and it would be through Ultraviolet. That's now gone. So if you had anything through them,
Really?
yeah.
Mm.
So it's pretty crazy. And I think Voodoo, I think is it Voodoo that I had? I think that's kind of a slowly dying service as well. It feels like it anyways.
Also, all my old DVDs with digital download are no good now.
Well,
Nope.
the DVD itself is, but the digital may not be, depending on who your service was downloaded through. But the DVD itself or the Blu-ray itself should be fine.
I've got a huge pile of SingStar songs for my PS3 that I can't download because PlayStation no longer have the rights for them.
Yeah, it sucks.
Mm. Really does.
Lord, you're a fan of physical media.
Am I? Oh, yes. Yeah, I am. I'm so glad I got my
Okay.
hands on Willow before they took that off Disney Plus.
Oh,
You lucky dog.
oh. Here you go. I won't read this out. Oh dear. Oh,
Did
dear.
they borrow it from you, Brown?
No.
Me.
Oh,
From
okay.
Z, obviously.
Seen nothing.
Here we go, folks. Melvin Deeply, £5, allegedly real money, folks. For those in doubt, Fiona is female and not swappers. I have documentation to prove it. I used to think she was Smilex.
Wait, is that an actual rumor or is that a joke?
Yeah.
Oh my
Brian,
gosh.
do you know anything about that?
I was convinced that for a long time that Fiona was actually Swappers. You know what Swappers
Like
is
a
like?
troll
with his alt
account or
accounts.
something?
Well, he's got several more accounts than your average Swiss banker.
Yeah, in the early days of this channel, swappers were the only viewers. We would have maybe, on a good day, 15 viewers.
Most of them
14
swappers.
of those were swappers. Yeah, so you've got to thank swappers that were still here. But anyway. Okay, shall we move on?
Do it.
Oh, yes.
Anybody see this? Breaking, Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan are teaming up for a new Karate Kid feature film.
What would you make it about?
Karate?
Well, no,
And
I
a
know,
kid?
but like I guess. But I mean, you've already got Cobra Kai. Do you really need another Karate Kid movie?
Where's Johnny Lawrence?
Mhm.
Where
Yeah,
is
why?
he?
Yeah, why couldn't we have a Johnny Lawrence film? That'd be good.
I will give him this much. I did meet Ralph Macchio a few years back, and he looks great for his age in person. Like he really does. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing great with that. So I mean, he could still pass for, not super old.
He's 60, isn't he?
I
God.
think so. Yeah, he looks great for his age, man.
I hope the plot revolves around them hunting down Peter Cetera for that horrendous Glory of Love song.
Oh, I love that song.
I hate it.
Oh my gosh, Peter Cetera from Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate
We
that band.
did it all for love. It's a great song.
I can't stand him.
Why? It's good.
I don't like his voice, and he's like
No.
so like
Great song.
he thinks he's like so awesome, and he's really not. And yeah, Ralph Macchio is 62. That's
62.
insane.
Go for broke. $5. Thank you, my friend. Request for Platoon in your next Ahsoka video. Can you please refer to Shin as Alice from Batwoman?
I did think about that, but I think EFAP has dibs on that one. So I'm going to stick with Billie Eilish, I think.
How are the Ahsokas going?
Much like the show itself, they've pretty much bombed, which is great fun. But I've got the Marvels now instead, so it's yeah, I've got more fun to look forward to.
Did you finish all the Ahsoka?
No, I'm only halfway through. I'm not. I will finish it in one format or another, but it probably won't be another like a weekly thing. I haven't decided what I'm doing with that one yet, but one way or another it will be completed.
Okay, so another back burner, yes. Okay. I think we called it about a year ago that Cobra Kai is finishing the next season. And I think we said that they would be doing a movie purely off the back of that. And we were kind of right for once. Because I think genuinely there is a lot of love for Cobra Kai. Would you agree, panel?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a great show. Do we know when it's coming back? Is it end of the year?
Not entirely sure.
I was going to say.
I haven't seen any trailers about for the
Yeah.
last part.
Yeah, don't normally they drop it at the end of the year on Netflix? Because I know filming was finished way before the strike. So there you go, ex beta, yeah, soon. Sorry, chat moved up. There you go, folks. Okay, so yeah, they did a live presentation, and yeah, obviously we're all going to be looking forward to it, possibly. So okay, shall we move on?
Do it.
Oh, here you go, folks. Marvel reportedly eyeing Oscar-winning actor to play Galactus. Who could it be?
They're probably working overtime. Like they have this short list, and they're going down and say which of these is the least likely to get dinged in a sexual assault lawsuit. We'll go with them. Anyone, literally
thinking,
anyone. As long as they don't look rapey, that's fine. We'll go with them.
I was thinking who's the most androgynous or least masculine, but that's just me. That's where my head was going. But again, that still fits in your category. So,
Any ideas, anybody? Z? Any?
I don't know. Who would they? Who would be a convincing Galactus?
Does anybody in the chat know?
I do not even know anything about Galactus, so I don't know who would be good to play him.
he's a pretty formidable character, man. Just
You
about
need
all
a lot
powerful.
of presence.
Yeah.
Oh, I know then. It's Santa Claus.
But has Santa
Wow.
won an Oscar?
He's got lots of presents.
Oh my
Wah,
god,
wah,
that's
wah,
such a
wah.
bad pun. So bad.
I thought I'd get all the way into December before hearing a fucking Christmas cracker joke, and here we are.
You're welcome.
Oh, you
I'm
such.
going to put a guess in. It's going to be Viggo Mortensen.
Oh,
Oh, Meryl Streep. There you go.
somebody said Brie Larson.
I've not seen Vigo in anything recently. The last thing I saw him in was probably that thing with Oscar Isaac, which I can't remember the name of. I could kind of see that. He has
Moon
presence.
Child, or I don't know. What was that thing with Oscar Isaac? That Disney crap. He wasn't in that, was he?
Oh,
Am I getting
Moon
that?
Knight? No, it's not that.
Well, but he's already didn't he play Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse? And now that that's part of the Marvel universe, he can't be Galactus as well as Apocalypse. They're both villains.
Oh, Oscar, right? Yeah, that's definitely true of Oscar Isaac, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, Ryan Reynolds played two different versions of Deadpool. And other actors have been in earlier roles. We had Chris Evans as Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four movies. to let it go on and play Captain America. So, he can do.
Also, they've got a multiverse. Literally anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that'd be good. They'd get the punters in. Here you
They
go.
could do a reverse Tropic Thunder and get a black guy to play him in whiteface.
Brian, any ideas?
No, but I'm hoping they're going to make it a woman who's gay and lame. Be a nice little touch. I don't know if
Well,
it's
that
true,
rules out Meryl Streep. Oh, what about El Jefe's suggestion? Elliot Page. There you go. That's probably going to be a good candidate right there.
Oh.
Here we go. The Boss. Yeah.
Brie has an Oscar if she wants to play two parts.
Yeah, I'd watch. I'd watch that.
Yeah, you would.
I would. We've got a super chat, folks. Princess Fiona for $2. I also thought I was Smilex once, so I understand. Okay. Common People for £5. Real money, folks. Not Brian. You used to be a Star Wars fan, didn't you?
Yes, that's a reference to last night's 4-hour drunk live stream, in case you're wondering.
Indeed. We've moved on. Somehow it moved on by itself. So we're doing Silver Surfer, Marvel's Fantastic Four MCU reboot, reportedly a woman.
Does that really surprise anyone? I don't remember the Silver Surfer ever being a woman in the comics, but that's not surprising. I think they had like a female counterpart, if I remember right. It may have been a brief thing, but I don't remember the Silver Surfer being androgynous.
That's just internalized misogyny speaking there, Rennie.
Oh, shame on me. I need to go in the bin. Shit.
Here you go, Professor R2. Doesn't matter. Moving on. It's very depressing, isn't it? There's nothing decent at all, is there? It's just all doom and spooking gloom. Or is it me?
No, it's legit what it is. I just don't foresee any of this stuff going away anytime soon. So you either watch it and suffer, or you vote with your wallet and you don't watch it. And I choose not to watch it.
Isn't that Red Letter Media things? Like, how does it feel to live long enough that all your favorite franchises go up in flames? It feels great.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Absolutely.
Don't ask questions.
I have never given a shit about the Silver Surfer. I think the idea is cringe, so I don't care who they have to play this one.
Yeah, I didn't care for the character that much, but come on, man. Do we really need to gender swap?
Is this just people making tales up, as it were?
No, there was
just as clicks.
There was a rumor that Anya Taylor-Joy was the one being eyed. I hope that's not true. But yeah.
Brown Archer Colin has a bombshell. An absolute bombshell in the chat if you want to read
it. Care to read it?
Oh, bloody hell. Archer Colin in the chat says, at Mr. Brun, Alliance, I have heard that this may be a misunderstanding in that they may be looking to use a different Herald of Galactus from the comics, who is indeed female.
That's what I feared.
That'd be Frankie Ray.
I go with Meryl Streep. Academy Award-winning actress. Just saying. Halle Berry, but she was Storm.
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. Halle Berry. Still got it.
Yeah, she's gorgeous for being in her 50s.
Much like me.
You can
No, Brian, Frankie Ray. Okay.
Student thinks it's going to be Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, Christ.
Several people in the chat suggesting Lizzo is a Silver Surfer, which means they wouldn't have to use CGI, just body paint.
Just silver
mean
body
anything-
paint.
You mean anything kind of like that?
Buddha. Holy moly.
Oh, that's hideous, but it needs to be bigger
Oh,
or wider, more girthy.
Knocker's the size of Jupiter. Dear God, what a sight.
That's so. I don't even know.
There'd be a lot of YouTubers make a lot of money from that.
she can be the silver suffrage.
At what point do you
God.
get too heavy for the surfboard and it just like falls
What
out
you
from
mean?
under
The
you?
anti-gravity packs up.
Yeah.
I'd no misogynist who said it's an ironing board she's on.
Igor, folks, eggs BT. No nipples, totally unrealistic. Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross.
Hell Yefe. Carrie Fisher's ghost. Oh dear.
Oh, that's not
Poor
right.
Carrie. Poor Carrie.
Somehow Princess Leia returned.
Okay.
So wrong.
I don't think Big Problema's happy. Sorry, pal. Sorry. That was it for me. Bye, Brown. Sorry. Okay, I
Poor
think we
guy.
need to swiftly move on. Sorry, my friend. Okay. I don't think there was any good news this week. Sorry, folks. Charlie Cox says a Daredevil and Iron Man crossover would be exciting. I don't think that's possible now because he's dead, isn't he? But, it's Marvel. No one's ever gone.
It
I
quite
mean-
neatly sums up the MCU's entire approach. It's Marvel. Who the hell knows?
Well,
It's-
but that
yeah, there.
that was the comic book approach, I mean, you never really died as a superhero in the Marvel comics, because you always came back. And I mean, for the most part. So, I mean, I would say if this was a comic book, yeah, but this is the MCU, and I think they killed him off, and he's immortal, not immortal. So there's no way to really bring him back. He's been buried, he's in the ground, he's worm feed. I don't see it.
Z, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, really, that the big three aren't really big or alive anymore.
Well, yeah, it's sad because the MCU started with him, right? It was the first two Iron Man movies that really inspired it to get started, and then you kill off the guy that started it all. What the hell?
The two of them have met many times, and in the Daredevil Born Again storyline, there's a segment with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor,
Hmm.
who are helping to control the situation in Hell's Kitchen. So they have met. It could have been worked in, but it's too late now.
I mean, I guess you could put him in a flashback scene, but it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Jamalama's stimulated me. Multi-bin. Yeah, very good. In fact, he's overstimulated me. Sorry, folks.
Look at El Jefe's comment.
Brian, get it together for me, please.
I kind of
Sat here
wish.
just tittering.
Titty not, Brown. I kind of wish
I'm
Charlie Cox
tittering,
would hang up
folks.
his white stick. I think it peaked with the Punisher series, which I really loved.
Yeah.
I think it's been diminishing returns ever since, and a lot of that is due to the writing. And he was possibly the worst character they could have picked to shoehorn into the horrendous She-Hulk series.
Ugh.
She-Hulk did the Daredevil no favors at all.
Exactly. Hey, Brown, can you highlight El Jefe's comment about Daredevil?
The boss.
Yeah, the boss. El Jefe.
Oh, sorry. Just I was doing it. Chat moved up. Is it that one?
Yes.
Oh, it's come back. Sorry, the chat's moving so fast. Sorry, folks. Let me. I'm boomering. I'm a boomer.
That's right.
Weekend
Mouse
at
is playing
Bernie's.
up. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best thing you could hope to come up with for that kind of storyline.
Hasn't Robert Downey said he's coming back? Or
I
is
think
that
he
one of these
alluded to
rumours?
it, but I don't know if it was anything definite.
How much do you think they've paid Downey Jr. to come back? Lord, any ideas? What would, if you was in Downey Jr.'s position, how much would you return for?
Honestly have no idea. I wouldn't. I'm done. It's done. I had my story. It was good. It finished. The end.
Not
I
even
think
for
there's only
come on.
I think there's only one person on this panel who could answer it with his own unique answer, and
Yes.
it's Z.
Okay.
Z, how much do you think Robert Downey Jr.
Oh no.
would have to
Watch your
receive
headphones, everybody.
in order to play Iron Man again?
Well, that's a very interesting question, Brian. I think it probably have been along the lines of 1.2 billion. Never get bored.
Would Disney pay that? Would
No.
Disney be so desperate they'd give him a
But I mean,
that
has
much
anything
money?
Robert Downey Jr.'s been in recently really gone anywhere?
He's broken his mic.
What?
Your mic spiked.
Oh, how is it now?
Better.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Sorry about that. But has anything Robert Downey Jr.'s been in recently really done any good?
Oh, Z, killing my eardrums one moment at a time.
Yeah, your mic's still a little bit uncertain after what you just did to it. But I don't actually. What has Robert Downey Jr. been in
Mic
recently?
down.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, of
Oppenheimer,
course. Yeah, that was all right.
Probably going to might get the Oscar for that.
I'm thinking he might. I'll be real honest, but I don't know. They'd have to pay him a lot. I know he loved playing Iron Man, but at the same time, how are you going to explain it? Oh, he actually didn't die. We just faked his death and we
No,
made a funeral for
multiverse.
him.
It'll be a
Or
multiverse. He'll come in from a different
There you go.
multiverse, and then it's fine. They can do that because there's no
or
stakes
they can
anymore.
do a flashback. But yeah, they could probably just put it as part of the whole either Doctor Strange or what's her name, Scarlet Witch multiverse bullshit that they tried.
Somehow, Tony Stark returned.
Shut up.
Job done.
Would we go watch it though?
No. Because it's not going to be canon anyways. So Tony Stark died in the quote unquote real timeline, right? So who gives a shit? This would be just like a big what if, right? Like Marvel's stupid what if show. I just don't see the point.
There you go, Tom. Tina Stark.
But
That
we don't
would-
need him anyway because we've got Ray Williams.
Riri,
Yeah,
yeah, she's probably nicked all his tech anyway.
definitely.
Okay, let's move on.
T-Leaf.
A new Jason Bourne movie is in the works with Edward Berger set to direct. Don't know who that is. Matt Damon is expected to be approached to return. What do you think, Rennie? Bourne?
I would watch it, man. I liked the fourth movie, which was simply titled Jason Bourne. The hubby and I just watched the first three not too long ago. We need to rewatch the fourth one. But yeah, I would be down. Matt Damon is awesome as Jason Bourne. I think this is
it's
the
pretty good.
role he was born to play, no pun intended. But this is a perfect role for him. He does amazing at it. And it's just, I don't know, it is just a really, really exciting ride from beginning to end. And each one of these movies, before you know it, it's like 2.5 hours later and the movie's over. And it's like, holy shit. So they're fun popcorn movies. They're fun movies to rewatch at home. Absolutely love them. I would love if he came back. If he doesn't, then fuck it. But if he does, absolutely would watch.
Brian, would you be up for more Bourne?
Is that Born, you said, with a B, not a P?
Bourne?
Correct. Bourne, not Brown's favorite stuff.
Edward Berger has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 film credits to his name so far, dating back from 1998. I was never a Bourne fan. It's one I can't tell which film it's which. It's one of these franchises that always seems to be in ITV4, and I catch 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So I'm afraid, through my own lack of commitment, it's a non-starter for me.
I'm telling you,
Sorry,
if you
Matt.
can watch it from beginning to end on each movie, they're really exciting rides, in my opinion. Just me.
I think I may have a little bit spoiled here and there, Rennie, so maybe a bit of a waste of time. Unless I can go to Swapper's hypnotherapist and have some of my memory erased.
Z, were you a fan of the Bourne movies?
No, it didn't really interest me. I've watched them, the ones that have been released, but it's not really something that grabs me. I'll put it on if it's there.
Lord, Matt Damon?
Much the same. No, it never really did anything for me. It sort of augurs in what's now the action film meta of kind of, down, dirty, gritty, and shaky. And I never really particularly liked the style. The story never particularly grabbed me. I don't think they're bad films by any means, but I will always find something else to do than watch one.
I think somebody said Bourne, James Bond crossover.
Well, that's just called James Bond.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love the films. And, it's really funny to think, like, you know what? The FBI, CIA, all of these people, right, in the US government are probably watching our asses so much more than we really realize or even care to think about sometimes. And it's really scary to think of all the technology they have or all the potential that they have to take down an American when they should be focusing those energies on other things. Just me.
Is that why we've got more viewers? The CIA are watching this.
Oh, maybe. They're like, oh, what'd you say about Jason Bourne?
Yeah, half the chat's operatives.
There you go. That makes sense. They're like trying to find some dirt on Brown and take him down.
Yeah. All the wrenches are CIA moderators. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a week where we don't have any Superman news, gunverse, whatever you want to call it. Nicholas Hoult has been cast as Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy. Source, Deadline.
He looks so much younger than the guy they've got playing Superman.
Yeah.
I think he can act. He's not a bad actor. I'm just struggling to see them opposite each other and taking it seriously.
At least they're not casting him as Superman, because that was a little bit of a rumor there for a second. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, please don't. So, I mean, at least there's that. But I mean, can anybody picture him being Lex Luthor? I don't see it.
No.
But is it aimed? It's not aimed at us, though, is it? I suppose us old farts who remember people like Gene Hackman.
Ooh. Oh, Gene Hackman, you just really can't get any better than that as far as Lex Luthor. Yeah. I loved him as Lex.
Amelia Bedelia, babyface.
But isn't he in his 30s or something, right? He's not exactly super young.
He's definitely in his 30s. I remember him from all the soap days in the UK years ago.
33.
Yeah, he's not exactly young. He just looks really young. So he's not a baby. He's got a baby face. But I think he's a fairly decent actor. And I actually liked him in the X-Men as a younger Beast. I thought he did great as Hank McCoy. So...
here you go, folks. Tom has some thoughts. Lex Luthor should never be portrayed below the age of 50.
You think so? I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't mind a younger Lex Luthor unless it's fucking Jesse Eisenberg. Like, and if you watch Smallville, like the Lex Luthor from that show was pretty fucking awesome. So, I mean, it just really depends, you know? I just don't see Nicholas Holt being a great Lex Luthor. It just doesn't give off a evil villain vibe.
Here you go, folks. Hooligan S3. The Lex bar was set pretty low recently. Can't do much
Oh
worse.
yeah, who was the Lex in that Crisis on Infinite Earths thing? That was very funny, and he was shit. I can't remember what his name is though.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Z and I liked the Luthor off Superman and Lois.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You would. You liked you some fugly Superman freak.
I do like me some first,
Yeah,
man.
That's
he was
right.
badass, and then he kind of fizzled out in the last episode, which was a shame, wasn't it?
Yeah. You would know.
I don't really like this guy for a very silly reason. It's just, do you ever have an actor do something you just go, oh, I don't like Tom Hardy stealing cars, for example. This guy was on Soccer EM years ago, a football show, and he came on, and you know Tim Lovejoy. He put out his hand to shake his hand, and he did one of these horrible things where he goes to shake his hand and then puts his thumb up at his nose and wiggles his finger. And I thought, what a little wanker this guy is. So basically, on that alone, I'm judging this guy. I don't want to see him as baldy at all. He doesn't have the chin for it either.
There you go, Gavin Blackburn. Bring back Spacey. He's dear. Oh dear. Okay. Should we move on? Joss Ackland died this week.
95?
Yeah. Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh, okay.
Played as South African.
Diplomatic immunity.
Mighty Ducks. Not seen the Mighty Ducks. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Excellent.
I think he was in a lot of TV series in Blighty as well.
Yep. 95 years old is a pretty good innings these days.
It is.
He's had a pretty incredible career. If his filmography is longer than Ron Jeremy's charge sheet, he's kind of one of those old school jobbing actors. But one thing, he did have a tendency to play Joss Ackland in just about every single thing he was in.
Yeah, he was playing himself, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, you could do that in days of old, I suppose. Never one of my favourites, but respect to the guy and a shame that he's gone.
Did we like Lethal Weapon 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
liked
just
it.
me then.
Yeah, I liked it.
And I loved it. Lethal Weapon 3 as well. So.
Yeah, I think you could tell that he was enjoying being there on Lethal Weapon 2, hamming it up a little bit, playing a South African. Yeah. Okay. So, Joss Ackland, everybody, age 95. Rest in peace. Here we go, folks.
Good to the bin.
Bit of a hot topic, this.
Oh, dear. And I know I can feel what's coming. Just rip off the Band-Aid.
Okay, let's just do it then. Sorry, folks.
We knew that was going to be
We're going back to the well, as it were. Doctor Who becomes Doctor Woke. Actor playing the Doctor's sidekick calls Doctor Who male presenting. You've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Now, is he being called male presenting because of the fact that he's gender fluid and he currently looks to be male at this point in time? Is that the reason behind that?
It's either that or it's an extension of this belief that actually, yes, there is no difference between the two. Or gender is merely presentation, and beneath gender is just amorphous human blob, which is kind of the extension of a lot of trans ideology, except, of course, that apparently, yeah, your perspective is entirely based on how you present, even though you're only presenting as like the same underlying cause as somebody who presents in a different way. It's incoherent and shit. And it's a nonsense as well, because it turns out you can just stop being a Time Lord if you just choose to give it up. And I don't really see how much there is to misunderstand about that. It's just that the Doctor isn't a dick, so he doesn't do it.
That is so stupid.
It's the putting down of the male Doctor. If it was the other way round, a male putting down a female, that would not be tolerated.
No, that would be sexist and misogynist. Or
Yeah,
they're interchangeable. But
again, it's the I don't give a toss about the actor on the left. That's not the issue for me, but it's just the double standard that they're allowed to belittle the male Doctor, but if he was to do it the other way around, hell. It'd be hell, wouldn't it?
absolutely, there'd be hell to pay for that if you were a male and insulting a female.
It's also crap just for the story, because again, I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention to the episode, but from what I understand, Donna has the power of whatever the fuck, and normally that would be enough to kill a normal human, but because she has a daughter, I use that term advisedly, it turns out that it doesn't kill her and she can just say no to it, and so it goes away and she's fine. And I vaguely remember there was that bit in the Christopher Eccleston run, is it where Rose, the actual Rose, takes in the heart of the TARDIS and it's going to kill her, and it does actually require a sacrifice. Yeah, which is dramatically useful because it means there's a cost to something, and it's there's a sacrifice that has to be made to save somebody's life. Whereas in this case, it's no, just bow before the awesome power of female presenting people, and we'll be fine.
Just as you were saying that, here you go. Yeah. Oh, it's just a sheer double standard. Z, any thoughts?
Put a chick with a dick in it and make her lame.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't mind Yasmin Phineas Rose. Transformers exist. I did mind the preachy and condescending way that she was presented. Lecturing the Doctor on pronouns, telling him he doesn't get it because he's male presenting, and the whole binary, non-binary shenanigans ended up turning the basis of a good story into an allegory, which ruined the whole thing for me.
Brian, follow that.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. Something a male presenting Time Lord will never understand. He was menstruating last week, for God's sake. Of course he's going to understand it, but aye, it makes no sense whatsoever.
For the
Do Time
thickos.
Lords menstruate?
Yes.
Well, I'm just asking. I don't know.
For the thickos, what does male presenting mean? I'm a thicko.
5 o'clock shadow, Brown.
Oh, okay.
Because I just asked him and he went through this whole spiel.
I'm thick though.
Yeah, no, male presenting is just a person who takes on the social category of male and presents accordingly. But, you might think, well, there are lots of bits to being a male. Like, you have a penis, allegedly, and you tend to grow a beard, and you put muscle mass on differently than women do, and your interests are different, and you prefer football to Barbie, and all these other sort of psychosomatic things as well. But that's not actually being a man. That's just male presenting, you see, because underneath all of that is the same thing as is underneath anyone who presents as a woman, which is just human, and also not, because trans people are simultaneously the same and different, which is always a problem that these people will never overcome. Because the whole ambition, if you want to have these trans people actually represented in works of art, is that it shouldn't actually be a plot point, because the argument on one side is trans women are women. Okay, then treat them like that, and have people in the universe treat them like that. And if they don't treat them like that, obviously that's a part of the the experience of being trans. But the moment you say, no, I am a trans woman, and it's very important we have the trans story told, and this is really a trans allegory, then what you're
Yeah.
doing is saying that trans women are not women. They're something else. They're special. They're more special than women are. But if you say that, then you're accused of being transphobic, even though that's the logical extension of what they believe.
I will say, where's Probby when we need him? Here you go. Common people. Good question. What is a man? Anybody know?
I figured what Ben said was pretty much a man, but
Adult human male.
yeah,
Mhm.
with all the boy parts that can produce semen and make babies.
Yes, it doesn't matter what you chop off. You're still genetically coded. I mean,
Yeah.
you take both your
Yeah.
arms off, you're still a man.
Yeah,
You
I
cut your legs
agreed.
off, you're still a man. You cut
Yeah.
your penis off, you're still a man.
You still got the male genetics or the chromosomes. Hmm.
Yeah, there
And
was that
someone
fun
who-
thing. There was the British Museum story. Was it last week when they did that ridiculous study that claimed to show that the plague disproportionately hit black women
Oh,
in
yeah.
London in the 1400s?
Yeah.
And I read that and thinking, well, apart from
Yeah.
all of the other many, many problems with that absolute nonsense study, how do you know the skull's a woman if you presumably don't believe that that's a thing? Because I'm frequently told that race is a social construct and sex is a social construct. So you can't possibly tell me that this skull is a black woman because you're deducing that from the size and shape of the skull. But if that's the case, then of course it must have some biological basis, which it doesn't allegedly.
Could they not DNA test the bone?
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, which kind
I
of
was gonna
proves that the rest of
say.
the ideology is bullshit.
Yeah. Anyway, so in the bin, folks.
Yep, set it on fire.
Male presenting in the bin. Get fooked. Okay. And finally, this happened today, and this is for the Brits, everybody. Sorry, the England people. Rest in peace, Terry Venables. I think it was 80. Euro 96, everybody. What a time to be alive. Z, you remember 96?
Yes.
Rennie, you remember 96, being American?
I do remember that year, but I don't know anything about your football, aka soccer in America.
Soccer.
I'm very into NFL. I just have never been able to get into soccer or your version of football. I can't do it, man.
No,
I've
the
tried.
version. The version. You go, retro lad, England. What a team 96 was. It was. Brian, any memories of Euro 96?
Yes, indeed. But first of all, just a very sad day for football in general. If
Yeah.
you're a football fan,
I'll
regardless
tell-
of which country or where your loyalties
Yeah.
lie. Eltel, obviously, as a player, ex-Chelsea, Spurs, QPR,
Tottenham.
Crystal Palace, Tottenham and Spurs, Brown. It's the
Yeah.
same club.
Oh, okay.
Managerial, obviously, Crystal Palace, QPR, Barcelona,
There you go.
Spurs, England, Australia, and Crystal Palace, and even managed your team, Leeds United, Brown,
For a while, yes.
before it all went tits up.
Tits up.
But yeah, generally, one of the game's good, guys. And as you say, Euro 96 did a fantastic team. Even though it
There you
took Yuri Geller to move the ball for Gary McAllister's penalty for you to beat the Scots.
Manuel Grail, being German. Ugh. We should have won that.
Gaza sliding past the post.
Oh, how did he miss that? Does anybody know?
He just didn't get there quick enough. If he several less pints with Danny Baker and Chris Evans a few days earlier, he would have made it.
Oh, God. That was a great time to be an England football fan, soccer fan. Here you go, folks. Common people for £5. Real money, allegedly, folks. As my old dad used to say, it's not a long way to Tipperary, but I don't want to go. I killed that, but never mind. Okay.
I think there's something very wrong with common people's old dad.
Well, he's a wise man, though, isn't he?
Well, he's certainly got some perlers.
Yes. Okay. So rest in peace, Eltel, Terry Venables. Great. He brought the country together for a few weeks in 96. What a time to be alive, folks. What a time. That's it. Oh, there he is. Dr. Pooh. The TARDIS. That is it, folks. I will thank the chat. Thank you, chat. You are wonderful. Sorry the topics have been very, very depressing this evening. It's just Hollywood being Hollywood, I suppose. So, chat, you are wonderful. Thank you for the interaction as always. And the super chats, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will thank the guest. Not Brian. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers, Brun. Thanks also to Plutz, Z, Rennie, and of course the chat. Thanks, folks.
Rennie L. Thank you, Rennie.
Yeah, thanks, Brown. Chat, you guys are awesome. And of course, panel, very happy to be on with all of you guys. All dudes that I just adore and respect very much. So it's nice to be on with all of you. And yeah, chat, if you want Brown to start doing some more movie reviews like we did in the past, let him know. I'm trying to convince him. He's
Blackmail.
just too lazy to do slides. So you've got to help him out. Anyways, but
What
thank
happened to
you
that
very, very
12-hour
much.
Attack of the Clone stream we're supposed to be doing?
It's going to happen when Ruin returns.
I also remind you, Godfather Coda is coming up for this year.
Yeah, book your calendars, everybody. 4 months time.
That's actually going to be in like 2 or 3
Okay,
months.
3,
Better be
okay,
prepared. Oh yeah, 3 months.
Yeah, we've been sitting on. Here you go. Nope, sorry, chat moved up. I've been burgled. Never good. Oh, my friend. Blade Runner. We've been sitting on that forever, haven't we, Brian? I was Batman 89 going, Brian.
Well,
Oh.
slowly. We started it, or rather, I started it way back in April of 2022, so we're not far away.
I will say, folks. Sorry, Brian, go on.
May I just say to Tom, review Rambo 1, you did that, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I will say, folks, if you ever start a YouTube channel and you do slides for movies, make sure you keep them and don't chuck them in the bin. Just a little regrets. Thank you so much, Lord. Cheers, Ben. Little Platoon. Cheers, my friend.
Thank you as ever.
Do we know if BSUP's happening?
Cynic is still in away, so probably not this week, I don't think. Also, my
Okay.
throat is absolutely fucked, so no is the answer, probably.
Anything on the horizon for you, my friend?
The Marvels should hopefully be next Sunday.
Ooh. Okay, I think that is it, folks.
What about Z?
Yeah.
Did I?
What about
did
me?
Oh, sorry. Did I?
No,
miss you?
no,
Z?
you didn't. You, God, you
Poor
treat these
guy.
droids like shit.
You got treated like me, Z. I'm so
I know,
sorry.
off and run.
We don't
Yeah,
serve your kind here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll wait outside with the other droids. Thanks.
Sorry, Z. I'm old. I got sidetracked with movie
That's all right.
slides.
Always a pleasure. Thanks to the panelists and thanks to the chat. You've been amazing as always.
That is it, folks. Sorry, Z. Don't worry. I'll jump out the window later. Okay. That is it. We're out of here. We're back Wednesday. We've got the semi-finals of the spaceships, and we'll be back at the weekend. If we don't see you Wednesday, have a great week, everybody. Take care. Tally bye. Tally bye.